welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for watching my videos. This is going to be the third episode or third video where we talk about something a little bit more serious than my usual self-help content. We're going to be talking about how to avoid getting manipulated. And this actually struck me when I was listening to a podcast last week. And it basically talks about how intimate partner violence has increased by 19% from 2014 to 2022, and it's currently increasing alarmingly. And I definitely think it's something that more people need to talk about in order to take preventative measures and keep yourself safe and your loved ones from facing such situations that can be detrimental long term for your mental and physical health, and obviously very dangerous. But I think we can break this video down into different stages where we talk about firstly how to identify a manipulator or someone who can turn into abusive, whether it's emotionally or physically. But we're going to focus more on the emotional side today. And what are the steps that you can actively take in order to come out of the situation? But let's talk about the signs at first so that you can identify whether this person is a manipulator or not. Most common way that they're going to manipulate you is by guilt tripping. So no matter what you do, like even if you're baking them a cake, they're going to find a reason to make you feel bad that you didn't do this enough. You know what I mean? I remember this one guy that I was in a relationship with. I spent like half of my paycheck of that month because obviously at that time I was a student, I was working part-time, it's been a while. I spent like half of my paycheck for that month to save up for a specific shoe that he wanted. And I got it to him on his birthday, and I was so excited to get it to him. And he made me feel bad at the end of the day by saying that I didn't make a social media post about him. And at that point, I was not even public with my relationship. And that was like one of the very, very early signs before it got really bad with that person in that relationship. But things like that, like they're going to be like, if you loved me, you wouldn't do this. If you loved me, you won't talk to this guy or be friends with this person. And they will try to take you away from people and isolate you from people that matter to you just by guilt tripping you. So they're going to guilt trip you for little things at first where you won't really notice it. But eventually, when you get used to letting go and making sacrifices in your life, they will ask you to make bigger sacrifices. For me, I had to let go of many friends just because he didn't like them. I had to not keep up with my corporate network. Like, he didn't want me to be friends with my coworkers. He wouldn't let me go socialize with them. It doesn't matter. I cannot go on coffee chats with the opposite gender. So all these like the minor things will add up to bigger steps. So at first, he's going to throw a tantrum. He's going to be mad at you and he won't tell you. And he's going to be like, oh, you're never going to listen to me if I tell you this. But when you tell, when he finally opens up, he's going to tell you something so weird. And you're going to be like, where did that even come from? Right. So at one point you'll get so bothered by the amount of times they're going to try to fight with you, they're going to get mad at you, they're going to lash out on you, that you're just going to start to give up on things that you care about, which might be your career, the way you dress, the people that you hang out with, the stuff that you like to do. Whether it can I literally had a time when this person told me that they stopped going to the gym because their partner did not like it when they went to the gym, and that triggered something in that person. So they were like, oh, I feel like you don't love me enough because I look a certain way, or like when you go to the gym and you accomplish something, you come and tell me, it may trigger something in me. And that is manipulation. That is guilt tripping. That is making you feel bad for doing what you love. And you should never compromise or make major changes in your life that gives you happiness just to be with a person or a friend or a family member. That should never be it. Like, whatever feels right to you and to your heart, as long as you're not harming another person and yourself, you should do it. You are not bound to follow someone's rules or live by someone's rules. Like, it doesn't matter who it is. Okay. Second one, gaslighting. We don't even have to explain gaslighting. What is gaslighting for people that might not be familiar with the term? It's basically when someone constantly makes you feel like you're saying the wrong thing and your memory is fucked. They're literally going to make you feel like you're going crazy. At first they're going to gaslight you in small ways, like, "Oh, I never said that. When did that happen? Oh my gosh, did it? I'm so sorry." But then eventually they're going to stop saying sorry and they're going to make you feel like you're the crazy person for saying that, and you're going to be like, "I saw it my with my own two eyes. I heard it with my ears. That happened. And I can give you proof." And even if you give them proof, they're still going to act like you're crazy, you're tripping. And when someone's gaslighting you for too long, you're going to start to actually believe that person because it works in very subconscious ways. The environment that you put yourself in, if people trust you, if you choose people that trust you, that adds to your confidence, you're going to become a more confident person. But if you put yourself in an environment where people are constantly gaslighting you, you will become even more low self esteemed than you already were before you met that person. So don't ever let someone gaslight you. Even if you're slightly wrong, that person can by far, to the max, suggest another opinion. Like, "Are you sure that happened? Because, like, this is what I remembered." And then you can kind of analyze, like, "Oh, I might have been wrong." But if they're constantly doing it to you, this is a sign. If they're constantly doing it to you, and you will notice small things over time, and you're going to be like, "There is no fucking way I'm wrong this many times." And they won't do it like every day because obviously you're going to catch up, but they're going to do it once a week, increase it to once a month, and then increase it to once a week. And then almost nearly every other day, they're going to try to gaslight you. Here's another thing. This is more applicable for people that are initially starting to date and you're going out with a person and you don't even know them, but then they're already love bombing you. They're buying you gifts. They're texting you every day. They don't just take you on coffee dates, they're directly taking you to expensive restaurants and they're flooding you with compliments, affirmation, and they just make you feel like you deserve the best thing in the world. And if you're familiar with Wizard Liz and like the whole drama revolving her, I think that's what happened. I do not want to be that person that says stuff like, "Oh, she didn't catch it early on because of da da da, like she was love bombed." But that is the fact. Like, if someone knows, if a man knows that you're a woman of high standards and you want to be treated like XYZ, he's going to play those cards and he's going to act accordingly until he has power over you. Because once he has power over you, your brain is going to trick yourself into thinking that there is no way this man does not love me because, duh, he just like bought me a Birkin 2 weeks ago. Why would he not love me? You know what I mean? So if someone is showing you too much affection from the get go, it's a red flag. I mean, I was talking to this guy recently and he was just not that opening up. Like, he was just not talking. His communication skills were like kind of wacky. And he would text me every day, but then the texts were like really vague, like, "Oh yeah, I worked. I'm going to the gym. That's it." And initially I was kind of bummed out. I'm like, does he not like me? Does he not see the he's talking to such a pretty girl, and like, does he not see me? Like, I'm clearly the prize. Why is he treating me like this? You should want to know me and you should want to get to, put in the effort, plan dates, this, that, right? Like, this is how whimsical, like, we want that fairy tale life where a guy would come and just, blow us off with and match our standards and like give us so much love. And I think the TikTok culture has promoted this, and even men know that. So it's like so easy for a man to like manipulate a woman into thinking that he loves her just by showering her with all the things that she wants, like gift giving, words of affirmation, physical touch, da da da, all the things that she likes. So later on, back to the guy, I start to realize that where is this coming from? Like, why am I feeling like, oh, what if he doesn't really like me? He's not doing all these like things, like he's just like, okay, let's hang out. Let's hang out. Like he's treating it like a very friendship thing. And I'm like, now that I think about it, I'm like, this is way healthier because this is not tricking my brain into thinking that he absolutely is fucking obsessed with me. He doesn't even give me much compliments. The maximum he says is like, your dress looks really nice. And that's it. So when I spoke with him about this, he just said that I can't just tell you everything right now. And I don't want to know everything about you because then there's going to be nothing to find out. Like, and it just like clicked in my brain. And then my pattern of like wanting love from the right, like from the get go, kind of slowed down. And I feel like I'm in a much better place because I'm understanding that this person is just doing things the right way and that's how it should be. And he's, if anything, he might, like the worst case scenario, he's just not interested in me, but he's not going to harm me and he's not manipulating me, that's for sure. So watch out for love bombing towards the beginning, specifically, but it can happen during any other time, but specifically towards the beginning. Last thing, there are lots of other things, but these are the top things that we're discussing. But blame shifting. If someone is constantly never taking accountability for their actions or the way that they do certain things, and they always end up blaming it on you, that's manipulation because there is no way you're the only person fucking it up every single time. It is a two-way process. A relationship is a two-way process. There has to be something one person is triggering for the other person to act in a way that they're crazy. So, yeah, like if they're constantly blaming you about different things, don't fall for it. Most likely, they're just trying to make you feel small, smaller, and even smaller until you lose confidence in yourself and you're like, you know what? It's all on me. It's my fault. I am the fault. I'm sad and upset that I was even born because being born was even my fault. Like, you know what I mean? That's something that like a lot of people do. And you end up feeling so tired of fighting that you just like end up accepting the blame for yourself. So don't ever let it go to that extent. Okay, to wrap all of that up, I'm going to say one thing that if you already have low self esteem, you're going to be the primary target for this type of people. Ever since I've started to work on my self esteem, I have not fallen victim of men like that. I have literally not even matched with someone on Hinge or the dating apps with someone who's manipulative, and all of them, like right from the get-go, like I just know from their vibes, their prompts, the way they look, the way they carry themselves, the way they approach me. Like fuckboys always like, I don't know the way they approach, they're just like so unserious, and when you see the pattern over time you will realize that they are a manipulator. Like I can literally smell from miles away that this person's gonna try to manipulate me. But as soon they're still like, even if you're high self-esteem, they can still manipulate you. But the only difference is now you know who a manipulator is and how they're going to affect you. So from a mile away you can literally realize that and weed them out before even engaging yourself with them. So have high self-esteem, work on your self-esteem before you get into the whole dating world or friendship. Like even if you have, like obviously you can't really live without friends, right? Like, but if you think you don't have quality friendships and you're constantly getting manipulated, you're being treated like a doormat, it's highly important that you reflect on yourself and work on your self esteem and make yourself feel better on your own and have self confidence and know what you bring to the table. And list out all the different qualities you have as a friend, as a partner, and why someone would want to be with you. Would you want to be with you? If the answer is no, then you got to work on yourself to make yourself better. Because if you're not going to do that, you're going to constantly attract low quality experiences. You need to know what your value is in order to attract that type of person who also respects themselves. Someone who respects themselves and like does not have ego, because ego comes from insecurity, does not have ego and genuinely is content with themselves are going to do two of the things. Either they're going to befriend you because they see the genuineness and the confidence in you, or they're not going to befriend you because they can smell the insecurity from miles away. And being an insecure person is like so dangerous. So they've experienced that type of weird friendships and relationships, they're gonna just like weed you out. So you gotta like really, really, really like yourself and work on liking yourself. I can definitely make a whole other video about this topic, but for now, manipulators attract or can get access to low self esteem people more often than you can think of. And that's the first step. Work on your self esteem. You will not attract manipulators. I want you to do another thing. I want you to write down your boundaries. And if you don't have boundaries, there's literally a book that you can work on. It's called, I forgot what it's called, but it's on Amazon. I think it's like $26. You can literally get it. I'll link it down below. I don't have any like partnership with them, but I'll just link it down below just for you. But there's a workbook that you can literally do in order to build your boundaries and do it from scratch, because a lot of times we were not taught to have boundaries and say no. Especially in my culture, saying no to older people and older generation was like, you you cannot say no. There is no thing as no to your parents, to your grandparents, to other family members that are older than you. Anything that they say, you have to do it. So, learning to say no was like not in my system growing up. So, when I grew up and I became a fully formed adult, I had to work on myself to learn to say no to different things. And even if it's a good thing, like let's say this week I'm hanging out with four people. And if I try to add the fifth person, my quality of the experience of hanging out with people will go down, and it will be a huge toll on me, on my social battery. So I have to learn to say no to that person. Like it's not going to eat me up alive. Like it's not a bad thing that they want to hang out with me, but I just can't. It's too much on my plate. So literally starting from something so small, like how to say no to hangouts, to saying no to bigger things like someone trying to force things on you, make you do stuff, or you're going on a date, someone makes an uncomfortable joke and you're just not saying anything. You're like, no, like you gotta say that made me uncomfortable. You better not say that again. So you gotta restrict yourself and know what your boundaries are, because if you don't know, if you don't spot on, write them down, next time you go out in the world and random people do random shit and you just take it and you go back home, you're gonna feel miserable because why the fuck did I not stand up for myself? You know what I mean? Don't do that. Like, don't do that. Just go back home, write down now, from now on, if you don't know what your boundaries are, what makes you feel shitty, that's the place where you need to start. Throughout the day, how many people made you feel like shit today and for what reasons? And what did you not like? It's usually because they have violated a boundary that you have and you don't even know that. So list out all the different boundaries and talk about the major ones next time someone does it to you. Like I have my list of dating boundaries. I make it clear to them from the get go. Like, hey, this is how I want this to be. This is the strategic plan. Don't fucking waste my time. If you don't like me, tap out, but don't waste my time and don't think that I have weird intentions. I'm just here for marriage. Done. Okay, second thing is learn to regulate your emotions. It does not matter if you're sad, if you're depressed, if you're anxious, go see a therapist. If you're a healthy person, but you still have a weak regulation of your emotions, you just don't know how to react at certain times, you need to work on that in order to figure it out, because not being able to regulate your emotions will put you in dangerous situation. I cannot expand on how important this point is, because if you're vulnerable, manipulators pick up on that. They know that you're going to lose your shit. They know that you're going to go crazy for them. They know that they can say whatever, do whatever, and you're just going to play along with them. So it's very important that you can come back home after your experience, sit back and think about everything that happened and how to not repeat that same thing in your life that causes you so much damage. And if you're losing your shit, if they're pissing you off, but then you're also like, oh my gosh, why do I like this person so much? Hey guys, sorry about the sudden background change, but I just wanted to say that you need to learn how to regulate your emotion and you need to work on that. How to figure out that if something bad happens, if something disappointing happens, what is going to be my next course of action. I just wanted to double check if my mic is working. But what would be my next course of action? And like go back to the how to detach video that I have. And I there talk about how to detach from any sort of situation, whether it's friendship, relationship, money related, or career, whatever it is. I talk about how to detach from any sort of situation. And if you need that, rewatch it. It's a reminder that nothing in life is permanent and you need to have the ability to detach from anything that hurts you. And yeah, after that, I think the last point would be to have a very strong social network. It does not matter if it's one person, two, or a group of people, but always have someone you can count back on. And if you don't have a very close knit network, please don't date yet. If you move to a new city, oftentimes when we're in our 20s, we end up moving to new places where we don't really have friends and that strong social network, but it's very, very tempting to go out there and meet people and start dating. But before you do that, make sure you at least have someone online that you can talk to and share your life with and be able to feel safe enough to share it with them. Like whatever condition that you're going through, there is no shame in regards to that. And there's always um, helplines that you can reach out to, but obviously, someone that you trust can be a safer option first to discuss what's going on. And last but not least, guys, stay safe and rewatch the videos. If there's anything I've missed, comment down below and I can cover that in the next video. And if you like this type of content, I can obviously create more content and talk about my personal experiences regarding this. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.